Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel and to Lawfolds map. It may be 7 o'clock in the morning, about 8 minutes after, but it is still quite dark this morning. The stars are shining bright in the sky above Scotland, and it is the first day of fall, so we are officially into fall. We're officially into the harvest season, and if we bring up our map of things that we need to do, we'll just take a look here. We basically, let's get back over here to this view here. Yes, so we have fields number 32 and field number 29, which are planted in canola. And so that basically we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fields left to harvest, with essentially three game days before we get to winter. And if we just exit out of here and look at our forecast, this is a updated seasons mod, and they've added the functionality for people like myself who just don't get Celsius, even though I did manage to fake my way through it with cheat sheets, and some of you guys suggested some tips which also really helped. But they've allowed for a change between Celsius and Fahrenheit, so I've got it set for Fahrenheit just for myself. But anyway, it is a new version of the Seasons mod. Still haven't fixed the fertilization piece of it, so it still just accepts one fertilization course, but they are making making much progress to the mod itself, and of course we're very pleased for that. So we are basically, we've got our header set up over in our first field that we're going to do, and we're just going to go ahead and get into our Massey Ferguson harvester here and go ahead and head that direction. I think we will stop and get some fuel first. So we'll just ease out of here, ease out of our garage. So yeah, we actually have updates for a couple of different things. I went ahead and put my big boy boots on and went ahead and took the update for the Lawfolds map, and I really haven't spent but much more than about 5 or 10 minutes just kind of driving around, kind of just making sure that everything is fine. And we will go ahead and stop our engines like we would and go ahead and refuel. Put some diesel in our combine here. Let's see, so our money situation, as you can see, our money situation is what it is. And we sold, not only did we sell most of our wheat that we had in inventory during that great demand, we also sold all the hay bales that we would not need. I think we kept about 80, I believe about 80 straw bales. Sorry, straw bales. We sold straw bales, not hay bales. I believe we kept about 80 there, so we should be good to go from that perspective. But yes, this is a new version, or the updated version of the Lawfolds map. Again, I sort of talked about the fact that I was a little nervous about updating to this version just because I wasn't sure just what the Seasons mod would do. That was my number one concern, because since we are just down to one map right now, I didn't want it to break on me and then all of a sudden have to either do a whole lot of, not that I don't mind doing the work on my side to get things caught back up again, but just didn't want to have to do that if we could avoid it. And but really, I guess what made the decision for me was the fact that we also had the we'll get our John Deere fired up here, but we also had the update to the Seasons mod. So both Seasons mod and Lawfolds both getting updated. I just made a good solid backup of my game save folder, and backed up, obviously had the two versions of the old mod. So I had the old version of Seasons as well as the old version of the Lawfolds map. Just got all that taken care of. Let me get rid of the forecast there. We don't need that anymore. We'll go ahead and unfold our harvester. And go ahead and turn it on. And let's see. It doesn't really matter which way we go around. I think we'll just go ahead and do a headland first, and then see how best to go ahead and harvest the rest of this field. The only drawback, and again, thanks to, you know, I've got the best viewers, but I also know that, you know, many of you guys watch other channels as well, so, you know, they also have the very best viewers if we share a couple of them. But, you know, you guys had posted some words of encouragement, might be a good way to describe it, as far as the expectations on what you saw when you updated your Lawfolds map versus, you know, what I would see. And I think the only drawback to not starting a brand new game with the updated version of Lawfolds is a little bit of grass that might appear in the water trough at the dairy farm. And, you know, something, I think I can live with that. I think I can live with that, and it certainly will, you know, save us from having to start the map over again. I think we're way too far along in this. I have, from the get-go of finding out about the Seasons mod, about putting out the mod review about it, and obviously starting to use the Seasons mod on this very map. This was the very first map that I started using Seasons on, because you might remember back in that time frame we were waiting for an update to Culborough Park Farm, and I had kind of put that series on hold for a little while until that update came out. When the update did come out, I restarted the map, restarted with Seasons, but then obviously whatever issues came about with Culborough Park Farm and the 1.4.2 update, they were just more than what my game save could overcome, and I just really did not want to restart that game save again. Culborough Park Farm is a wonderful map, and I would encourage you to play it if you have not played it. But in the same token, that map is quite popular on YouTube, and there's quite a number of individuals who are playing that map on YouTube and showcasing their Let's Plays. And Lawfolds, really, there's not very many folks that are covering this map nowadays, and the views are still very high for my series, and I appreciate that. But so yeah, so that was sort of the reasoning behind me holding out the way that I did. But, you know, at the same time, I also think that at least what I want to do with my channel, and keep in mind that, you know, from the minute that I really started my channel, at least my idea of my channel is for it to do something different than what your normal type of YouTube channel that's doing Let's Plays, etc. is doing. And, you know, maybe it's a product of being successful, I don't know, but I go out and I look at, you know, I watch several YouTube farm sim folks that are playing, you know, Farm Sim 17, and I go out and I watch their videos, and I look through their comments, and I'm seeing YouTube guys that are extremely successful, meaning they've got thousands of subscribers. You know, I'm talking like 20, 25, 30,000, maybe even more than that. And I see that people are asking them questions in their comments, and those questions don't get answered. And again, maybe it's just a victim of their own success because they don't have time. And trust me, when I first started my channel and I first started doing Let's Plays with Farm Sim 15 and Paradise Hills way back when, it seems like forever, it seems like ages ago, and it was really just maybe 5 months ago or so, you know, and having 10 subscribers, 15, 20, 30, 50, you know, remember 100 subscribers was about where we were in the around the end of the year, around the Christmas time frame, and then the channel has grown to somewhere in the neighborhood of about 350 at this particular point in time. And I have certainly seen the amount of additional time that it takes to answer questions, or at least read your comments. And I will tell you that I read each and every comment that is posted on my videos. Some videos it may only be 2 or 3 comments. Others it might be 10, 12. You know, it just kind of depends on I guess circumstances. But that's sort of my commitment, is I want to still be able to do that. I don't do this for the money or for the notoriety or anything of that nature. And I know that some of these guys do a fantastic job. I mean, there's some wonderful YouTube folks out there that's earning a living from this. And I've got to say, if I were younger, if I was probably 25 years younger than I am now, so basically, you know, in my mid-20s, and sort of knew then what I know now, and had the opportunity, and obviously could build a channel and everything, I wouldn't have a problem with doing that. And I don't have a problem with those people doing that either. I guess just what I'm trying to say is that, you know, I enjoy doing this because I enjoy helping people. That is why I'm doing this. And, you know, I hope that you all can sense that. I hope that you can feel that. I hope that you can hear that in my commentary, and see that in my enthusiasm of answering questions and trying to help people out. Just like you know, I posted a video on I believe it was Thursday. I posted 2 videos on Thursday. One was regular Lawfolds series. I think it was episode 25, and then I did a kind of a quick 10 to 12 minute edited video on how to sell grain with courseplay, with the specific sort of the specific highlight of how to do that. We are getting close to 99%, aren't we? Okay, so I need to I'm sitting up here just rambling on, and I need to go and figure out where our tipper is. So let me go ahead and fold the chute out, and we will get out and just quickly run over there. But yeah, you know, answering questions, and, you know, someone contacted me via email, and they, you know, posed this question to me. They're like, you know, I see you playing on Lawfolds, and so obviously the sell point at Lawfolds, at the main store, the main store, which is where they wanted to try to sell something, has a back end type grain tip point. And how would you go about setting up courseplay automation to handle that? Because clearly they have used courseplay at least enough and know enough about it to be able to set up a course where the tractor and the tipper just kind of drives over the tip point. But they didn't know about, you know, how to set it up and how to back in and all that stuff. And so, you know, it's like, okay, well, I could respond to this person's email, and I could try to describe what it is that I'm talking about, that I'm trying to convey to them, or I can just do one better and create a video of it. And I can even take it one step further by, instead of making the video private, that I would just provide the link to this particular individual, I'll just go ahead and make this public. And I'm not, you know, I don't think that I will do a lot of courseplay. I don't think I will do a lot of courseplay tutorials, just because I think that there are so many courseplay tutorials out there that it would probably just kind of get lost in translation. But at the same time, if somebody has a question, if you would like for me to do a tutorial, something specific that you think of that maybe you have not been able to necessarily find on YouTube, and you still have a question about it, I would be happy to do that, because again, it's kind of why I do this. I do it for I do this because I enjoy playing this game, and let's face it, my channel, I tried doing some American Truck Simulator videos and some ETS2, and it's not that I have forgotten about that. I would still maybe like to try to figure out how best to put those kind of Let's Plays together, but I've just been enjoying Farm Sim 17 so much, because it really is such a fantastic game, and I just enjoy interacting with each of you. I consider each and every one of you friends, and I know I've talked about this before, and I'm probably whacking that horse over the backside with a 2x4. But it is why I do this, and I appreciate all of you for allowing me to do this. I appreciate those of you who continuously watch my videos, watch my content, like it, subscribe. We're getting new subscribers every day, and I just really appreciate all of you, because it's that encouragement that just causes me to do more and more and more. And I've got to admit that dropping down to just one series, I'm finding that I didn't make any videos on no, I did on Monday. Today is Tuesday the 21st, but it's much more relaxed schedule, just doing the one series. And I'm not saying that I will not try to do 2 or more again. It's just that I'm busy at work right now, and but I'm still able to sort of maintain a kind of a video a day, or at least 6 videos a week, and I think I will meet that for this week, and it's looking pretty darn good that I will be able to get that sort of set up and queued up for next week as well. So good stuff, good stuff, and I sort of owe it all to each and every one of you for your friendship and your encouragement, and so many of you have helped me grow my channel. Reefy1952, Mike, you have been a wonderful friend that I've known for a year and a half or so, almost 2 years now through PCSG. Really thankful to you for helping, and all of your words of wisdom and encouragement and such, and also to Eustace Pharmer, who has also been an incredible supporter of mine and mentor, and just overall good. You're all good people. Shawnee B, the Bipolar Prophet, just incredible people. And I know I'm missing so many. But anyway, before I start crying, I will just change the subject. How about that? Just joking, of course. I don't think I'm at a point to where I'm going to start crying. Maybe it's just my allergies. Maybe that's what it is. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. All right. Well, we're going to do another. We're going to finish this headland around the second side, and then maybe, just maybe, come over and we'll do this straight edge on the other side over here. So let's see. Also, updated version of the AI vehicle extension. So auto combine is also a new version of that mod. So yeah, I'm pretty much patched up on just about all the key important stuff. I've got the latest and greatest courseplay. I've got let's see, I've already talked about Lawfolds, talked about seasons. So yeah, so we're all patched up and running the latest and greatest, and of course, one of the features for Seasons mod is this adjusted daylight hours. So as you get into fall, naturally the sun starts coming up a little bit later. And of course, this is configurable. I've not bothered to configure it from the default settings, so I forget where the default settings are actually situated, or what the default settings are configured to. It's someplace in England, I believe. And of course, we're in Scotland, so it's probably not too far. It's probably not too far off from being reality. But you know, if we were doing a U.S. map, we could set the latitude, longitude in the configuration to be that of, you know, something. If I wanted to play a map, like, let's say for example Oklahoma, for example, I could set the latitude, longitude configuration for that of Oklahoma, and of course it would provide some geographical point of reference as far as the sunrise, sunset configuration stuff. So that's quite cool. So we do have I can't remember if I've mentioned it yet or not, we do have a great demand for canola. So one of the reasons why we have started at maybe ODark 30, which I realized that, you know, we started this up at about 8 or 9 minutes after 7. That was me fast forwarding the map after I had patched everything, and then I spent about 10 minutes or so driving around. So actually I had fast forwarded it until about 6:50 or so in the morning, and then by the time I finished doing some testing, driving around, just making sure that the FPS was solid and I wasn't going to have any problems, it was a few minutes after 7. And I realized by no stretch of the imagination that this is super early, but I feel like that, you know, for the most part, most of your better viewing pleasure and stuff is going to be in the more daylight hours. So, but I just thought that we would get this day started because I want to get this field harvested. I want to get the second field harvested as well. Not necessarily this video. I might do it off camera, or maybe we will do that. Or maybe we'll do that the next episode. It just sort of depends. But get all that harvested before noon, because noon, 12 o'clock lunchtime, is when that great demand of canola ends. And so we want to take advantage of trying to get that to the sell point before noon, right? I mean, if you're gonna play the game, you want to certainly take advantage of all of your opportunities. That's a pretty good screenshot right there. I'm gonna just grab that with that lovely JCB, which I know Mike will agree. All right. So we'll move this over there. You know, the yield on canola just isn't as high, obviously. We'll probably be able to get this entire field in this trailer, and then maybe even, I don't know, maybe into this trailer. But obviously this new tipper trailer came out very handy for us. We had about 5.5 loads that we sold to the sell point yesterday, and that's why we've got our money up there. And of course, sort of now the dilemma is, what do we do with that? What do we do with our, with our 235, some odd $1,000 plus whatever we get from our canola crop? What do we do with that? Do we I wanted to look and see if there's anything. Yeah, some new features with the game extension mod is what I'm trying to spit out of my mouth. Well, what do we do with that? Do we, you know, do we take that? Do we take a portion of that money and do we buy some pigs with it? Do we actually buy more dairy cows? I finally, and this is only the end of the second day. You know, we got our dairy cows about halfway through the second day of summer, so midsummer. We got our dairy cows. We had our dairy cows all of the full day of summer, the last day of summer, and obviously today. But the dairy, the milk, and I have it set for auto sell. I don't have the stock milk cell put into this map, but the revenue from the milk exceeded the daily operating costs of the equipment and all that stuff. So, you know, that's really helping us to make keep a profit going. Okay, we do need to do some maintenance today on some of our equipment, and I do have our test, sort of our sacrifice tractor, which is I think it's a little stair tractor that I actually have at the sheep farm. And what I did, just to make sure that I don't end up, you know, where I've got to repurchase that tractor, I went ahead and parked it inside the maintenance bay. So in the event that the tractor will not, if we can't crank the tractor up, start it up, then obviously it's in the maintenance bay, and hopefully it'll allow us to do maintenance on it once it has stopped working. But it does say today, as of today, it does say that maintenance is required, but I was still able to start the tractor up. So we'll see how that goes, and just kind of see how the mod is going to affect that, because I know many of you want to know that, and I want to experience that and be able to share that with all of you. So yeah, so in time we'll all find out exactly what will happen if you don't perform maintenance on your vehicles. The only thing that I guess the only issue, and I wouldn't even really call it an issue, is that maintenance on the equipment is basically sort of the same as your animal maintenance. Okay, you know how when you feed your animals, you fill their food or their water or whatever up, it will say they've reached the maximum capacity for 6 days. Okay, well, maintenance is more or less the same thing. Your maintenance is 6 days. So I did maintenance on this one yesterday during the game day, and funnily, with the combine, I had to drive it actually to the store to do maintenance on it because it was too tall to fit into the main farm's shop. So I was not able to do maintenance on the combine here locally. I had to take it to the shop to do maintenance, but not a problem. But it's also, you know, set for 6 days. So with the example of a harvester, where we would use the harvester for, you know, essentially probably you know, only half of the year, whereas we might use a tractor all 12 months out of the year. Combine, you're only going to use it for maybe even less than half of the year, yet you still got to do maintenance on it, you know, every 6 days. Now, of course, maintenance for a piece of equipment that's not necessarily running is still required. So I get the whole gist of it. It's just that I guess I wish that there was some, I don't know, a variation or something. But hey, at least we have a little bit more immersion, a little bit more realism in the way things work, and so can't really complain. We appreciate what the modders have given to us, because hey, I'm not a modder. I could not, for the life of me, I couldn't create some of the things that folks have created. So we've got to be very aware of everything that the modders bring to the game, and I've talked about that before, so I'm not going to rehash that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. So either more animals. There are some pieces of equipment that I do want to go ahead and get, and we'll get those more or less when we need them. Was thinking about picking up the Kuhn sprayer, even though we can't really fertilize more than once with the Seasons mod as it stands right now. I would kind of like to mix it up as far as the variety between, you know, granular type fertilizer versus liquid fertilizer. So might do that. Of course, the other thing would be probably the natural progression of things would potentially be another field. Might be, you know, a wise purchase. And but we'll just have to see. Now, I haven't done any work I haven't done any of the missions, so as far as our reputation with the local farmers, you know, I've not really gotten into all that like I did with Paradise or with Goldcrest Valley. To be quite honest, I think I did so many missions in Goldcrest Valley that you know, the newness kind of wore off for me. I think I much rather prefer the idea that, you know, we're trying to work towards our own livelihood, our own, you know, goals and everything. And that's one of the reasons why, you know, like getting animals and getting your animals established to a point to where that they're actually making money for you to help offset your daily equipment costs and things of that nature, I think is pretty key to the overall productivity and survival of your farm and such. And so I would almost rather put my time and effort into doing those kind of things, and or maybe even including just, you know, on this map there's not really much additional things that we can do. We could do some forestry, but I'm not very good at forestry, I'll be honest. I'm much more interested in the agricultural, the farming aspects of it. And I do understand that forestry, you know, there's some, you know, I'm sure farmers actually do, you know, cut down trees from time to time, but, you know, as far as major money-making initiatives and also trying to do a farm at the same time, I really don't think that exists to that extent. So I kind of think that I would rather work towards our own stuff here, and that might mean, you know, just cutting grass and baling it for silage, or you know, cutting grass and taking it to the BGA. Although, you know, kind of the BGA, that's something else that, you know, I did beat, and I'm just going to teleport to the JCB, save us some time. I did so much silage making in FarmSim 15, just like everyone else, because that was obviously the cash crop. That was the thing to do in FarmSim 15 to make money. That I think that just the whole idea of it is just, again, it's one of those things that's just maybe not that appealing anymore, just because I did it so much in FarmSim 15. All right, well, we are at about 35 minutes into our video, so I do want to try to keep these relatively short, as I've discussed before. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the rest of this field off camera, and then we'll bring us back together for the next episode, where we'll basically pick up right after probably I get done with this field. It'll be on a different day because my voice is completely about to fail on me because of my allergies and everything that's been going on. But then bring us back together we'll do that field, and maybe we'll may need to do some animal work and stuff like that as well. We'll find something else to do. And then we do have that sugar beet field that we need to harvest, and so that'll be kind of different because I don't think I have harvested sugar beets on any of these maps as of yet. So that'll be cool. And just basically get ready for winter. We've got to get everything harvested in and basically sold, and then get our animals all topped up on everything. And we need to sell some wool as well, so maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll harvest that smaller canola field and sell some wool or something. Anyway, we'll find something to do, find something to talk about. But until then, I will just go ahead and say thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and thank you for your friendship, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. And the weekend's coming up, so have a wonderful weekend as well. And I will talk to you all the very next episode. Bye-bye.